Hello and welcome to Breadbound. Today we're going to be making 2 large buns. We are going to be using 800 grams of strong white bread flour, 10 milliliters of sugar, 10 milliliters of salt, 25 milliliters of butter, and 15 grams of dried yeast. Now you can use fresh yeast, but dried yeast is easier and faster, and I like it fast. We start by getting a large mixing bowl and we sift all the dried ingredients into the bowl. Now, you want to get it nice and sieved together. It's got to be all mixed up. It's got to be like a dried ingredient orgy. Once you've sifted all your dried ingredients together, you've got to add the butter. Now you've got to rub it in, really get in there. Some people think you should do this with a spoon. You've got to get your hands in there. Once you've got it all rubbed together, we're going to add the yeast and water. Now I boiled my kettle about half an hour ago, so it's nice and tepid, but just make sure before you get it. Then we need 500 milliliters, a little bit of steam, but not too much. Then we add in the dried yeast. Now the yeast is going to activate. It's going to be nice and ready for the bread. So, once it looks like you've got rid of all the bits, pour it in. Then grab a nice big wooden spoon and stir it in. Make sure you stir it nice and hard. As you can see, I've given my surface a Brazilian. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it a light flouring. Light. Then we're going to turn it out onto the surface. Get that bitch on top. So, as you can see, it's a little bit moist. But don't worry, because that's going to sort itself out when we start kneading it. Use circular motions. Make sure you use all of the floured surface and just get your hands dirty. This is the messy part. So, once you've kneaded your dough and it's nice and round and plump, we're going to put it in a bag with a little bit of oil and let it sit for an hour. I'm using this nice bad boy I got from the shops the other day, and some extra virgin olive oil. Then we want to keep it in a nice warm place. So, after you've let it prove a second time, it's going to be nice and big, and you've got to knead it again just to make it that little bit firmer. The first time's good, the second time's even better. So you got to keep going, just keep kneading it until it's nice and firm. Once you've finished kneading your loaf for the second time, we're going to split it in two and pop it on a greased baking tray. Just cut it 2 equal parts. 2's always better than 1, isn't it? Look at them, they're lovely. Look at that. So you shape them into your buns, get them nice, exactly the way you want them. They should be nice and firm. And we're done. Ready to go back for one last proving to make them nice and big. Because there's a long time while my buns are getting bigger, I like to relax in the bath. But you can do your own thing if you want. But they're probably ready by now. So once my buns have been taken out of the warm place where we've been proving them, we're going to do 2 things. We're going to score them to make them look nice, and then we're going to brush them with egg. You can use milk, but I prefer eggs just because it makes them harder. So, take your bread out of the oven, and you know it's done because you give them a little hit and you can hear that they're hollow. And that's how you make Breadbound.
Too much. I think keep your hands down. It's quite nice, and maybe just the head slightly.
Okay.
But yeah, because you ended up just having like a freakish arm.
Today we're going to be making